Hello, everyone, and welcome to another game of the Queens of Venn, a Mouseguard game. I'm going to throw it over to 4 for all the beginning stuff because I know he can do it. So I'm just going to sit here and listen and let the ST be the ST.
Very incredible. Mouseguard is a role-playing game, but it is also a comic. And in this comic, this world that David Peterson has created, there are mice. And these mice have culture. They have science. They have a little bit of industry. They have textiles. And they have the guard. The Mouseguard is a formation, a wonderful group of brave, courageous, and innovative mice that patrol the outdoors. Because mice are still mice, they're still very small, and thus they need to be protected. And the Mouseguard protects them from all sorts of things like foxes and the weather, and they deliver mail. But they also investigate bees, which is what we'll be doing today. Our heroes are part of the Mouseguard, and we will be doing a little bit of... Do you guys want me to do a recap, or do you guys want to do the recap?
Whatever.
How about this? Everybody give one thing that they know their character did last session. I'll set the stage, and then we'll pass it off, and everybody can introduce their character and the cool thing they did in the recap. So, our patrol discovered that Sand Mason, one of the colonies sort of ruled over by Shorestone, decided to defect and now is under the jurisdiction of the Queendom of Venn, an island nation off the coast of the Mouse Territories. Our group discovered that there have been lots of strange things going on since last winter. Many beehives across the territories have faltered or died completely, and Venn is happy to sell or provide the bees and queens in order to help rebuild. It turns out, however, that might be connected to the string of hazards due to a single scientist mouse and several other mice from Venn that might have poisoned or corrupted the hives, and possibly even had done something with the bear that ravaged the territories earlier. Our patrol decided, let's go to that creepy island. So they did. It turns out it's a beautiful paradise with flowers of every kind. And there are also weasels here and ferrets. There are foxes and kestrels and opossums and many other creatures that for some reason are able to live in harmony, or at least it looks like they do. They are led by their leader, Ludher Krotik, who used to be a tunnel lord from Darkheather, the sort of underground nation of weasels. And he advises the Queen Rosaria. Actually, let me make sure, because Rosaria Hellicent, yes, Rosaria Hellicent. Rosalie was her mother. And it turns out that they got a pretty big religion going. They worship the oneness of spirit that all animals have, and turns out they're doing a lot of funky junk. Do one of you guys want to... Let's actually go to Throck. Give us something that your character discovered about Venn that worries your character, and what your character's name is.
That it's a terrible, terrible caste system where they throw people out if they don't like them and kind of chuck them in this rebel's place. And it doesn't even matter if they were previously very, very loyal. They get chucked out. They just get thrown away like trash. And my character's name is Thane, and he doesn't like that very much.
He's also the patrol leader.
He is also the patrol leader.
15.
I'd have to go find my cell phone, so I'll be right back.
Oh, perfect. Perfect that you went first.
Yes.
Neuro.
My thing is realizing that my good friend Gauss, who is a fellow Apieris, was essentially being utilized by the kingdom to produce essentially weaponize a lot of these queen bees without his knowing, kind of utilizing that, and then also almost killing us in the process of that. I am Stroud, and I am, I guess, the resident scientist slash inquisitive one slash the impulsive one as of the last few sessions. I might have accidentally killed someone in the middle of broad daylight, but that's not important. That's me.
You also have, luckily, I think if we did a conditions counter of every number of conditions that people have gotten, you would have the least.
I don't know how, but
I don't know either. Maybe it's those vitamins you took. Zed.
Hola, I am Finn. I am somewhat older than the rest of the other mice. I'm borderline an old fur, and I'm a bit grumpy. As far as what we've discovered about this place that I don't like, basically everything.
Wow, wow. I built a paradise for everyone, and this is how you treat me.
Finn is perfectly willing to allow or to not really think about or care for other places that do things in different ways. Like, that's fine. Like, everyone can do what they want. But what he doesn't like is when what one place wants impedes on another place. And Venn has crossed that line several times now. Additionally, he doesn't like it when people attack his group, which has also happened a couple of times. Yeah, so he's not a big fan. As far as one thing he's done, I did smuggle in some daggers for us. So we've got that to look forward to.
It's true. Connie, oh yeah.
That's me. Hello. I'm playing Thistle Bristle, the disaffected youth who really thinks the world is a bad place and only he can fix it. As a recruit in the Mouseguard, he's got a lot of work to do. I think that the thing they found out about Venn that they don't like is that they don't actually care for their own people. They let their fox prince go totally insane, and then instead of getting them mental health care, they send insects to attack them. Sounds like a bad plan. And
Yes.
also, Thistle threatened to kill the scientist if he let Venn use the bees as weapons. So that's Thistle.
This terrifying child. Well, it is true. There are a lot of problems with Venn, particularly the conniving machinations of the daughters of Crotic, the heads of state, in a sense, as well as divine representatives. You all were essentially poisoned by the opossum daughter, who, thankfully, did not succeed in her poisoning out of you. Sidwell was essentially, you opened a civil suit and you were brought before the queen and Ludher Crotic himself with your representative, Maravin, a kestrel who you have kind of bonded with in order to get where you need to be as you are undercover. You're able to win the trial, this argument, this indictment of wrongdoing and selfish purposes and all the bad things of this opossum. And it turns out they kind of found her guilty and decided to throw her away with the fox too. And just before she admitted her defeat and was rushed off to be sentenced to this exile, she mentioned that you were Mouseguard and that they did not trust you and that the queen should not trust you because you are essentially spies. And it turns out they found this out by essentially Moira, a ferret who was on the boat that took you here seems to have ratted you out.
Traitorous bitch.
And now you're being essentially left to your own devices briefly in the same room that held you before. A comfortable but restrictive common room. There are several couches and other means to engage in a leisurely activity. And I will give all of you a moment to talk to each other before something else happens, because I imagine you all want to coordinate. I'm going to turn the fan on and get more coffee.
I'm upset.
What now?
Well, we're a little bit captured.
Just a little.
We've been more captured.
Yeah.
Why are we not cutting our way out of here?
There's
Right
more
now?
of them
There's
than
an
there are of
awful
us.
lot.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to know, on a personal level, I would like to know what happened with Moira.
Huh.
I-
So first
Doesn't
order of-
make a lot of sense to assist us in getting here, only to then sell us out.
right.
Why
as
why do all that?
right? I don't think we're going to get any. Well, I think there's two ways. We can either start actively planning an escape, or wait a little while and see if somebody comes and talks to us, because they're not going to keep us somewhere this nice without trying to use that to soften us up in some way.
What's
do you
the
think that's
point
our
of
motive?
waiting to make a plan if we could make a plan now?
Well, because
And
we
if
don't
they
know all the
do
variables.
happen to come, then we'll still have a plan in place.
We don't know
What-
any of the variables. We don't
Yeah,
know
what-
what guard rotations look like. We don't know if anybody's coming to talk to us or making us. We don't know anything. So
Mhm.
making a plan right now would be kind of just throwing dirt in the air and going, "Look at the plan," which is not a good way to start the fight. We need
That
to
sounds
know.
like we'll never be able to make a plan.
No, there's a pretty clear, bright line, which is if no one comes to talk to us, say in the next day, that gives us time to observe what guard patrols look like, so we understand what we're coming up against. I am concerned about your want to immediately take action in a hyper-dangerous situation that could get you killed. That concerns me.
I'm concerned by your
I don't
willingness
care
to
what
just
concerns you. You don't have a cloak. You are in a dangerous situation, and today you will listen.
Sir.
Is Gauss in the room with us?
No.
Grrr.
Bar.
I love you. I, use Sean, love you. At Conio.
Mhm.
I just
I
want to
love
point
you
that out
too.
there.
No
okay,
worries.
Okay.
Man, bosses are mean. So,
Right?
about an hour passes. I'd say it's likely around evening at this point. The Queen of Venn enters your room, followed by a weasel who you do recall is named Rockshall. And he carries with him a pretty badass sword, as well as what looks like a scimitar at his waist. The Queen, Queen Helicent, is young. She is a mouse. She is garbed in a more like casual, like she really went all out for the trial, but now she's just sort of wearing a very simple gown with a braided rope tied around her waist with what looks like some delicate sunflower petals sort of streamed into the hem. And another creature comes in, a little blind mole sort of scoots in with a little cart, and it has lots of food on it. And it bows to the queen and leaves. And Queen Helicent sort of takes a seat. Rockshall stands by the door. And she looks to each of you and says, I decided to eat somewhere that wasn't so noisy. And I figured this would be a perfect opportunity to see if you're hungry.
If I'm not already, make sure that I'm standing near Thistle.
Okay. Just imagine Thistle jumps up and just decks the queen across the face.
Right? Throw that dagger.
So the queen sort of stands up and begins to pick through this, basically a buffet, and assembles a plate for herself. The daughters and Lord Krotik are discussing your identities and what should be done about it. And personally, I've already made up my mind, so there's no point in me being there.
And what does your mind tell you?
That you're spies, and I will return you to the mainland. And then I will give you a letter of disapproval, which you can deliver to your matriarch.
A letter of disapproval?
Yes. It's the most I can do, really.
Why don't we just do that? You're the queen.
Well, Luther will want to make a show of it. We don't feel very confident in ourselves after witnessing, well, 2 of the daughters are exiled, and the guard was under my nose this entire time. It's clear we are lacking in judgment, foresight.
I would agree
Things
with
that-
that assessment, yes.
Things that a queendom needs if it wants to eventually expand.
Why do you want to expand?
I was curious, what exactly does the guard do?
We ensure the safety of the spaces between.
Okay. You create trails through the wilderness. You drive off beasts.
Both fair and foul, indeed.
And what of those in the towns?
They have their own to look after them. All the towns are dependent. They work together.
That's not what I hear.
What do you hear?
Just from my interactions with Sand Mason, it appears that there are those who are no different from the predators outside their walls.
Yes, those who would wish to perhaps corner markets and not allow people to have the resources they need and develop weapons in order to create themselves a monster. I understand. It's a very dangerous situation, and it's one that we care about deeply.
It appears that the guard has a lot of autonomy.
Indeed.
I want to help people. But the way the territories is living right now, it leaves a lot of gaps. You've noticed
It leaves freedom.
freedom for mice.
Yes.
What if freedom for the weasels?
Finn, would you like to take that question?
The weasels do not allow freedom for others. We push for freedom for those who cannot easily take it on their own. The weasels, on the other hand, consume and destroy wherever they go. They can have freedom, but away from us.
That's why the scent border exists.
I see.
Each town independent under no queen's rule, working together for the betterment of all mice, not for one aristocratic caste.
You don't like me very much, do you?
I don't like the way this town does business.
What would you change if you're a queen?
I would abdicate the queenship.
And then what?
Not expand. Stop experimenting on things to terrorize other people, and probably not force people to wear things that denote their place in society like they're either outcasts or above people. I think maybe all of those things are incredibly horrible and not befitting a free society.
What of your cloak? Doesn't that designate some merit?
It
To it?
absolutely designates merit. Wherever we travel, those who know we come know that we are protected and safe. It's like the difference between wearing a mask and wearing a sword. You know, a soldier is a soldier because they wear a sword. But a person with a mask is hiding themselves behind a lie, and those flowers are lies.
Beautiful, but quick to die once you pluck it.
Indeed.
And she sits down with her plate and begins to eat. She points
What
to...
is she eating, out of curiosity? What is
she's
on her plate?
She's got like slices of plum and some delicious kernels. There is what looks like some bread that has had fruit baked into it with honey set aside. There is a keg of what probably is mead, a very sweet, but if you want something that's much more bitter, there's a second keg that is just more or less the default option if you don't want something bright and sunny.
I will whisper to Thistle. Prisoners don't often get fed. We should eat to keep up our strength, but only eat what she has on her plate. Grab the same things.
Now.
How?
Now?
Yes, let's go.
Okay.
And I will lead the way. Not one to turn down a free meal.
Yeah, this stuff looks real good.
The guard advances.
On the buffet.
Towards the buffet! Strike!
Stay
boy.
back, foul marmalade.
Like I want this visual to sort of be like the appetizer of the Redwall series whenever it like spends several pages describing just deliciousness.
Like this pasty that was full of yeah.
Excellent. So, she essentially is in silence for a while. If any of you desire to ask her anything,
Your Highness, if the true wish is that you wish to expand your kingdom, has there been any attempts from your side or from our side to engage in diplomatic dialogue?
not with the guard directly. Right now, we're starting with Sand Mason, and we hope to initially grant alternative trade routes and options. And if any more towns seek to enjoy the many liberties that I hope the Queendom can provide, then yes.
Don't you feel that it's underhanded in a way that doesn't seem to indict or indicate diplomatic dialogue? I mean, our matriarch did not seem to be well aware of any of these dealings until we uncovered it, with all due respect.
Then I would supply it with my own ignorance in that case. I've lived my whole life on this island and very much rely on counsel for what lies beyond the shore.
Then can we look at this as an opportunity then for us to start the dialogue now with our being the Mouseguard here and with your kingdom?
I would hope so. You are technically in protective custody, but any progress that I can get out of this chance, I want to get there.
If we're going to have a negotiation, we need to know your stance. You started with Stan Mason. What else do you plan on taking?
I'll accept any and all that request my authority.
And those that don't?
There are other towns.
That isn't an answer.
Why research what you're researching?
You mean bees?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know that that's what many of the mice of the territories are lacking. I figured the best way to earn goodwill was to help provide what was needed.
But with all due respect, Queen, the way that you are, in a sense, processing or manufacturing these queen bees is not robust enough to sustain. It's not sustainable. That's probably the better way to put it.
It's not going to be sustainable. It will end once we have achieved what our goal is currently, and that is merely to secure and maintain stability on the coast.
The coast was never unstable until you came and started attempting to redirect trade from where it originally was. Your agents were in Sandmason. Sandmason did not independently choose to join you. You bid them to join you. You used subterfuge. And then, when a rightly requested queen bee was diverted on your orders, you shifted the balance of trade in your own favor. Do not act like you're an altruist. You're not. What is your goal? And if you treat with us honestly, perhaps we can have a conversation with the matron, and perhaps we can come to some kind of understanding. But it will not be founded on a basis of lies while I am sitting here.
And she breathes in and out very slowly and takes a moment to sort of reconcile with what you've said. And takes another big gulp of the mead and says, essentially, the prime objective of my rule is to succeed where my mother failed. She died last winter, and her life's work was to extend beyond this island, to reach out, to not be alone anymore.
Well, why do that while attempting to subjugate others? Be one of us by being one of us. Treat openly and fairly without underhanded dealing. Create what you create. Live your society on this island the way you do, and openly speak fairly and truly with others without trying to subjugate them under a rule that is unjust.
This is a good point. I'll have to bring it up with my counselors. Would you prefer to... Should I summon Lord Krodick?
Well, before we do that, what is the sentiment shared amongst your court and Lord Krudik at this juncture? We've heard your opinion, but I want to understand the sentiment of your court.
It's a revelation. It's a unity that has never been dreamed of. And it's working. You can't imagine how much we're learning from each other. The ingenuity of mice mixed with the all-seeing perspective of a falcon. The friendships that have been forged that would never have been otherwise. I don't look at them with fear anymore. I look at them with mercy, almost. I see them just as I see you. Creatures that deserve my sympathy.
Sympathy. Why sympathy?
Because I know I can help.
Help do what?
Give them something to fight for.
We have lots to fight for. Giving people fewer reasons to fight is noble. Giving people something to fight for just creates more fighting.
Starting to realize that.
What was your hope coming into this room? Surely you have known that conversation would not be a smooth one.
Mm-hmm. You that's from Rockshaw. For one, I did want dinner. And a quiet one. None of you are shouting, which is very good.
I'm looking at this all going like,
Need another muffin, young one.
I also just want to converse with mice from the territories. I've never met many of you before. It's very exciting.
I think what frustrates me is the fact that you feel like you seem to know what's best for people who you've never met.
I have ideas about that.
Instead of coming and engaging with us.
Shouldn't someone enter with confidence?
Confidence and subterfuge are two entirely different things.
Why do I get the feeling that your advisors, your counselors, are just as much in favor of this expansion as you are? Perhaps even expressing this idea in the first place.
It's very weird. When you ask me that, I struggle to find an answer, but when they discuss such matters with me, the answers always seem clear.
As well they were if one were a master at manipulating you.
Well, regardless, there are problems now that need attending to. We not only have a fox, we have a rogue opossum and her devotees.
Queen, perhaps away from your council, we could make an agreement.
Okay.
It feels to me Like, you have the impression that the mainland is a bunch of disconnected communities in need of leadership.
Well, yes.
When in truth, they create a harmonious web of self-independent community. And removing communities from that web disturbs the balance of those communities. Perhaps, knowing what you know now, we could show you the worth of patrol mice, gain your trust away from your advisors, to prove to you that the way we live our lives has merit and shouldn't be so roughly kicked over at the whims of a council that seems to be steering you in a relatively myopic direction.
You have my interest, patrol leader.
Sounds like you have some problems to solve. And it sounds like if we stay here, your council is going to turn us into another one of those problems to solve. But if you send us after one of those other problems and come back, it gives you new counselors to work with, who you know you can trust. And it shows them they're not the only power on your court.
The disapproving letter shall have an addendum. How about that?
That is
Would you
not...
would you like to take a tour of the coast? See for yourself
Let me see. Hang
what
on,
it is
Finn.
that
What I'm trying to say is that if
My
you want
mother
us to
would have forbade that. That is a very bad thing. No.
we can show you that the mainland doesn't suck and give you someone to work against these people who are obviously steering you wrong. If you tell us one of the problems you have here, like these fox or this otter, we'll go fix it for you.
Thane can show you the world.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'll speak more plainly. Your council is steering you very poorly. We can help steer you properly. But I feel like your council would want terrible things to happen to us if we just did that, without proving that we have some sort of worth to you first that would make them less willing to directly engage us. Or violently engage us. That is what I was trying to say. Does that make sense?
It does, although I have
Get off.
a
That was my
concern
cat.
about it that I'd like to raise, if I may.
Yeah.
She bows to you and gives you the grace of leading this conversation.
Your counselors want things. I don't think that they want those things for your benefit. I think they want things for their benefit, as individuals often do. I think they see you as a means to an end as long as you are convenient and allow them to do what they want. I think that if you were to be rash or less than careful in your administrations, that your public appearances perhaps might be curtailed. You are an effective figurehead, but you're just as effective silent as you are vocal. In fact, in many cases, more so. And if your counselors are indeed leading you astray for their own ends, it means they don't respect you or the position so much as what the position can do for them.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Ah, God damn it.
I can help.
Or I'm trying to wonder if this would be manipulator too, because this is, you guys are manipulating the queen a little bit. I kind of like it. And we'll use this to sort of gauge your effects at this time of each of your comments and questions.
So can we all throw into it?
Yeah, you can all throw into it.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Manipulator, I would much prefer over Persuader.
I will allow it.
Yeah.
All right, I can give you
You're essentially turning her against the people who have
told her to do things we
raised
don't
her to
like.
queendom
Yes.
her entire life.
Yes. Yep. That is entirely the plan. Yep. That is 100% correct. Yes. That is yes.
Yep.
Yep. I can.
How would Thistle Bristle get in on this?
Oh goodness. The thing is, like, Thistle Bristle is having a big problem right now because they kind of agree with the queen and feel like a lot of people are just fucking everything up, and somebody needs to get in there and just make it better. And they're
I
mad.
alone can solve it.
This is interesting because essentially the queen is following like a piece of your belief.
Yes. And they're mad at Thane because they feel like Thane is doing exactly what she's being accused of, using subterfuge and lies to try and manipulate people into doing
nothing
things.
that is a lie.
Hey,
Sorry.
Not only
is how
doing things,
Thistle
but doing
feels.
things for the interests of the good kingdom that only wants to protect those who are its vassals.
But at the same time, they do feel like the queen is being manipulated by their advisors, whereas if she was left to her own devices and still trying to do the work she was doing, she might actually accomplish something. So they would actually want to support Finn in this role because he agrees that yes, the queen is being manipulated and that should not be happening. How is a good question because mostly they're just eating angrily.
That might, yeah.
They've been told just to listen. They're not allowed to talk.
You don't have to follow that order if you don't want to.
They're thinking about breaking it, but
I didn't say you couldn't speak in this conversation. I said I didn't want to hear your plan because I thought your plan was bad.
you
To be
told
clear.
Stop
Yes.
stop talking about things that you can't have talked about.
Sorry.
the thing that Thane heard was don't talk, listen. And that has not been rescinded yet. So they will think they're breaking an order if they talk.
Very literal translation.
Yes.
Okay.
You could help with your calming presence somehow.
This will be obstacle 6, by the way. She is
Oh,
a queen.
great.
Dude, use your nature, first of all.
Well, yeah.
And I'm going to throw you a persuader.
Okay, cool. Can my tough come in on this? Because I'm giving her straight talk.
I think so.
All right, cool.
She doesn't experience a lot of pushback, it seems.
Stroud, anything?
I guess. No, I'll throw in a persuader. This as well.
3, 4, 5, 6.
This will be interesting.
What's the one that I can spend that lets me re-roll? It's what,
Persona points can be spent to re-roll all failures if it relates to your wise, and fate points only re-roll 1.
Okay. I
I do have manipulator,
don't think any of my wises are going to help here.
Manipulator would work.
right? But then I'd actually have to say something.
You should. I'm sorry, I can't say that.
You're manipulating with your calm and chill ass presence. You're just like, yeah, no.
With their death glare.
Okay, put yourself underneath the keg and just chug it.
Right?
Somebody get a hose.
Yeah, they're at a point that they're gonna break and they're going to disobey a direct order. And they're going to look at the queen, and their death glare seems to have become not a death glare at the queen themselves, but beyond the queen, to all of the things that are manipulating and keeping her dreams from being as pure and admirable as they could be. And since it's manipulator, that doesn't mean actually lying. So they were gonna say something that I had in my head. You could make the world a better place.
Do I get anything extra if this feeds in with my belief?
How so? Make your case.
I am helping.
Oh, wait,
my
yes.
belief is to help all lost mice find their way. I believe that the queen is quite lost.
I
Nice.
will give
I
you
love that, yeah.
a +1 because that is astounding. This is essentially your belief being challenged up front. She is a lost mouse who thinks she has created like her own path. You're trying to correct that course. Okay.
Nice.
That's exactly 6 successes. Well done.
Mhm.
This dinner went more smoothly than either of you might have expected. And she seems very, very ecstatic now. She's sort of sitting on the couch, sort of kicking her legs back and forth. And eventually she seems to be finished and appears to have no more great, grand strategies to speak to you about. And she says, what was that scientist's name again? Gert?
Gauss, ma'am.
Gauss. Gauss.
Gauss.
I'd like to have a conversation with him as well. Would you like me to summon him?
Sure.
Very good.
Oh no,
She's-
Thistle only has 2 eyeballs. How can they glare at 3 people?
Oh.
You can
And
sort of point at one with your tail, maybe.
Right?
and she sort of looks to Raksha and says, "Could you summon a servant, perhaps? It would be. I feel like I'm just having a very nice time. I'm learning a lot." And he's sort of been like grinning this whole time, and he opens the door, and he sort of rings a bell and waits. And you notice that he rings it 3 times in total, and it's not working. No one responds.
Did I have one of those
And-
daggers?
Yes,
Finn?
you already have one.
Yeah.
I
Everyone else
secret it
has one.
as best I can and make sure it's ready because I don't like the feel of this.
Hmm.
Mine's right here under my tabard.
He peers down the hallway and turns
I
over
also
his
flash a dagger
shoulder,
at Thistle and let her know to be, or let them know
and
to be
he sort
ready.
of barks over his shoulder and says, "Queen Helicent, the candles are out. If anybody is there, reveal yourself!"
Ready, mice.
Queen, get behind us. Does she get behind us out of curiosity?
She's sort of like she stood up and she's just sort of like confused. She doesn't exactly understand what's going on.
I will move over to her. Queen, please get behind us.
She goes, "Oh my goodness, the utensils are sharper than I imagined."
Oh, I don't have my dagger out or anything.
Oh my god, that's
No,
what I
no.
thought. That's
No.
her. Okay, that's gonna be her immediate reaction when she sees those.
That's fine. No,
And
and
she,
I'm like open
I love
hands,
it.
like Queen,
Mhm.
please move behind us.
Okay, she moves behind you to the far end of the room and glances to the wall, just sort of like out of reflex, just like ooh, ooh. And she lets out a squeak of shock and surprise. You see crawling along the window are several ants, almost like a stream of them, sort of curling over each other in different directions over the window.
Weasel, get inside. Close the door.
He glances once more, shuts the door, locks it, and he, frustrated, says, "Why do the inner chambers only have one lock?"
I don't know that.
And she says, it takes too long to open. Do you want my dinner to get cold while I adjust the locks? And he rolls his eyes, swiftly unsheathes his greatsword and grabs his scimitar as well. And he sort of looks to all of you. Anybody here use a sword?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finn.
No. Thane.
Thane.
Give me your dagger.
Okay.
You give me. Yep. Boop, boop, boop. We're ready.
And he gets very upset and he just throws it to the tender paw.
Okay.
I need decisiveness right now.
No, it was.
It's really funny because what I wanted to be doing as this was happening is getting honey to distract the ants by creating a different trail, because I've heard all about how these chemicals are controlling insects.
Yeah.
So I feel like the sword gets thrown to Thistle as they're like grabbing honey, and then they like juggle it and try and toss it to Thane.
Suddenly, a rock crashes through the window and shatters it. And you see in the starlit sky several flying shapes, some of which have what looks like little slings attached to their claws. And the ants start to stream in.
Oh, I want to throw the honey so that they don't.
All right. Throw the honey then.
Okay.
Honey cannot be thrown easily. It just
It's
sort of
a
like
jar.
glops.
It's like a
It's
jar.
in a
right?
jar.
It's
It
in a
can
jar?
and shatter and spray.
Okay.
So that's what I'm attempting to do.
I'm gonna say this gives you the opportunity to decide what to do next, because these ants are streaming into the room, and the queen is quite afraid, and she scuttles back, clutching at her weasel bodyguard's hip with like a death grip, and you see like fur coming out, and she's like,
Anyone have any diatomaceous earth?
Oh, Zed.
The weasel begins to step on a few of these creatures, and quite frankly, turns to a lot of you and says, "I think we should go down that hallway." And the queen says, "Oh no, one moment," and she pushes over what looks like a bookcase, or tries to at least. It's just sort of like just edges to the side, and you see there's a door on the other side. So one of you will have to help her, and the rest of you will have to secure the room from being overtaken by these ants.
I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Ant pheromones that are usually disrupt foraging paths are produced by the ants. If we can kill one, take the pheromones and spread it along a limited area, that will prevent them from actually coming in.
Okay.
I feel
A
like that
baby
would
scent
take
border.
longer than the amount of time we actually have available to us.
That's true.
I would let the GM decide that and not give ourselves extra.
I would
homework.
say that requires precision, primarily because you essentially have to kill the ant and extract its stuff before the alert signal, the pheromone for war, is sent instead.
I just want to use science. But yeah, I totally fair.
You want to use Insectress? I'm saying go right ahead. You might be able to successfully cordon off a part of the room, making it more easy to defend.
Does anyone else have any other?
My idea is a lot more aggressive, so I think your
Yeah.
idea is a good start
My
because you're
plan
the smart
was
science person.
I think it would reduce the obstacle of the overall fight.
my
skill.
plan was to have Thistle help open the door and the other three of us fight off
Mhm.
ants.
Okay.
Thistle
So
was thinking the same thing, so that's good.
okay. So do we have any help on this one?
On science?
Well, it can technically be fighting since we do need to kill one.
I can
well
chuck
then,
one in on
I-
fighter. Yeah.
I was gonna do that. I can assist with survivalist. I know what parts of the ant to pull.
Hey,
All right.
lovely.
And then
That one's good to eat. That one's not good to eat.
That one explodes.
hmm And that one can be made into a lovely hat.
Oh.
All
So
right.
this will be obstacle 3. Let's say obstacle 3 for you.
Okay. So I've got Finn. Do I have Thistle or Thanes?
You got me, boo.
And yeah.
Okay. So I've got 3. So it's a 7.
Hey.
Hey.
Tremendously done, sir. So, go ahead. Stroud, what do you do?
So after having my teammates grabbing one of the ants and decapitating one of them,
Ooh.
I'm basically slam my hand into the corpse, grab the specific gland, and basically trace a semicircle around the doorway, kind of giving us some room.
All right. Is Thistle doing a push with the queen?
Oh yeah. Let's knock
All right.
this down.
Do you want to do health or laborer?
Oh my goodness. Health.
All right. It'll be obstacle 4.
Okay. Let's see.
She's giving you helping dice.
I'm gonna put a nimble on this as well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This needs to happen fast. Yeah.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
I really just want to chuck a torch out the window at one of the birds, see if I can catch it on fire.
That would be lovely.
Let's see. So that's gonna be a total of 8.
Mostly out of spite.
Woo! 8.
Yeah. Tinderpaws, you got
Tender-
a bunch of rollies.
Perfect health.
Yeah.
Bodies like iron.
Right? Get out of the way, screen thing. Okay.
Ah! There it is. Well
Yeah.
done. She is grunting with effort, and then she sees Stroud disassembling an ant, and she just looks at you, Thistle, and says, "Ah!
I know.
Ah!
It's terrifying.
Normal. Ignore
Through the
this.
door. Let's go.
All right." As she pushes alongside you and is impressed as it begins to shift very easily. with the
Combat only
extra
gets
effort.
juicier from here, my lord. Hurry up.
Oh, lovely. So, here comes the fight. The secret entrance / exit will be open to you. You just have to fight now to create enough distance between the ants and you as you retreat.
Okay.
So this will be a very low versus test, since the warding will you'll be able to ward off the most of them, so they will get less helping dice from each other.
Okay.
So we're doing what exactly?
You're fighting. Roll hunter or fighter.
Okay.
I have a fighter 3.
I have a fighter 6.
Well,
fighter.
there you go. There's your guy. Okay. I will hand you an extra fighter die.
Cool.
I can kind of fight.
you.
You are a
All right.
professional murder bot. Okay.
Ants shall roll their nature 4 successes.
Okay.
You're getting helping dice from Rockshaw.
That's 2.
Okay. Cool. So I've got 3 helping dice. And then I can throw my tough in. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So 4. Okay.
Come on, Boo Boo.
Nope.
That is
Hang
not
on.
how that works.
No, it
Damn, lovely work.
I rolled a 10. No, it's because I put a fucking apostrophe in there. There we go. 4 successes.
That's a tie. Do you want to spend a fate point to reroll those 6s, or do you want to break it in my favor?
No, I'm gonna re-roll those 6s.
Yeah.
If you insist.
Nah, B. Nah.
Not be.
Bzzz.
Hey, 1 success.
All right, fine. So go ahead and, if you guys would like, answer me your character's actions, the scene as you deftly drive back the horde of ants that are spilling into the room as you retreat to the exit.
I'm watching one of Finn's flanks as he's taking the major brunt of the ants, torch in one hand and scimitar in the other, kind of waving it down at the ants and then slicing down at them.
The weasel is sort of using his great sword to sort of sweep over the ants and just knock them over. He's not cutting a lot of them, but he doesn't really have to. He just sort of has to weave them back like a
Yeah.
like a broom.
Yeah.
Every now and then he'll slice off an antenna, but you know.
I'm just basically, because I don't have my bow, I just have my dagger with me. I'm just basically stabbing any of the ants that have fallen down that are lingering behind. So
Yeah.
that's all.
And the ants are kind of scary. They have really deadly looking pincers. I imagine the ants are like, you know, when you see like a close up of an ant, like I figure like the mice are able to see this a lot better than like the humans are. So this is, I don't like this. So
Yeah.
They could like rip our flesh apart.
Yeah.
Anyone else here watch Ants Canada, the YouTube channel?
No.
Oh, this
my
dude,
God.
he's an ant keeper.
You.
And he just has all sorts of like ant colonies and shows like up close and how they it's crazy stuff. Anyway,
That's a no for me, Doug.
it's actually a lot of fun. And he's a really enthusiastic guy. So I'm yelling instructions back at Thistle saying, all right, now, here's how you handle multiple, much smaller opponents, okay? I'm just giving instructions as I go. Like, so when you stab one, you should already be in motion to stab the next one. Do you see how I did that? And so preferably 2, okay? And then just going through.
And Thistle during this whole thing is like, and grabs the queen's hand. And then like in that movie scene where like, you're just like, wait, what just happened? You can see Thistle's brain explodes because they just grabbed a queen's hand.
Yeah.
And they like start running down the hallway.
Yeah,
through the door.
she's clutching you
Yeah.
like a damsel from a Conan novel.
No, Jesus.
And everybody essentially is able to make their way into the tightly packed corridor, and Roxal looks up and sees there's a string, and luckily he's tall enough to just yank it, and a piece of the ceiling comes down, and it looks like he can latch it into the ground. There are like little grooves that he can stick handles into, and he's not happy.
I wouldn't expect him to be. Let's go to the attic.
Yeah.
So those are agents of which princess?
They're not princesses. They're daughters.
Sorry, which one?
Most likely, we usually attribute things like this to the fox, but counting on events, this might be retribution from Sidwell, which is really frustrating. Probably should have killed her, Your Highness. And she says, this actually goes down into the undertunnels. That should give us an escape route. I don't think the palace structure is safe, at least from the outside.
Sure, ants not being famously known for hiding in tunnels and whatnot.
Oh yes, let's pray they haven't gotten to the tunnels. All right. So it takes about 10 minutes of dissension until you reach what is apparently a little common-looking door. And unlatching it, you open it into what looks like a storage room, except it's pretty much just holding sacks of grain. And the weasel crosses the room and checks the open hallway that leads into, or the open doorway that leads into what looks like a storefront. And he goes further and checks the tunnels. They're empty. Nothing here. Or rather, no one here.
What's our way out?
Well,
Should there be someone here?
this is the under tunnels. This is where business is done. This is industry underneath, you know, all the beauty of life.
So there should be people here.
There should
Or
be
nice.
people here.
Hey, real
Obviously.
fast, can you guys hear? Okay, nothing coming for me aside from when I'm talking.
Not really. There's a little bit of
Okay.
background noise, but it's no big deal.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. Sorry, I apologize for interrupting.
How dare you?
Oh, it's fine.
You see, as you all enter the main tunnel?
Yeah.
All right. It's got a very high ceiling, and you see someone emerging from one of the stores further down. Appears to be a weasel. And you recognize her. It's Moira.
Venn, the traitor.
Harlot.
Moira.
Answers quickly.
She stumbles towards all of you, holding her side.
Yeah.
Appears she's been stabbed. And she collapses, saying, "I'm sorry. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I found you. Great. Are you okay? Is
Why
the
did-
queen okay?
More okay
Why
than
did you sell us out?
So you would be taken into custody. I knew something like this would happen, but I didn't. I figured the only way that you would be able to not be caught up in it, possibly killed, was, you know, if I added you.
Strap
A lot
for
has
what
happened.
it's worth. We won't get any further answers out of her if she dies. You take a look at that.
Yeah, I will. Do I need to make a medicine turn? Or
Yes, you will. This will be obstacle 4.
All right, we've got healer 4. Does anyone want to help out with that?
Is there anything I can help out with?
Healer, scientist.
Instructor?
Do you have healer?
No.
Then you cannot instruct in
No.
the art of surgical
Well, let me tell you about this
dilemmas.
thing I've never learned about before, but
Yeah,
I'm so
you know-
good at teaching about things that.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm not a surgeon, but I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So, can I help with survivalist?
Yes, I will allow that.
Can I help with Weather Watcher?
I nearly asked that. It's like, it seems awfully cold, which makes the adhesive more difficult to stick on. You'll want to.
But luckily it's dry so that you can help it the wound
Yeah.
seize up more quickly by leaving it to air out.
By the way, I don't recall what happened with the unseasonably cold weather.
It's unseasonably cold.
Oh, okay. It is still unseasonably. All right. Good.
Yes.
Excellent.
All right, so
So obstacle 4, healer check.
I suppose I could throw in a laborer to help. I'll hold your medical bag and give you tools as you call for them.
I will accept that. All right.
But will 4?
Yes, that's a good question.
4, are you okay with that?
Go right ahead.
I think we lost 4 for a moment. Oh, that's a lot of ones.
I'm actually gonna spend a persona point and reroll that 6.
Do it.
Fate point, not persona.
Oh, fate point, excuse me. Yes, you're right.
Hey, there we go.
Very nice. I forgot to ask you guys to make goals. Haha.
Yeah.
Yeah, my boxes blink.
Yeah,
My goal would have been get out of captivity, so.
Stroud, it definitely looks like she's been stabbed, of course. You're more worried about the size of the wound. It didn't go deep, but it does seem like it kind of sawed at the far end of the wound. So you imagine it's some sort of weapon with like a ridged blade.
Is it a
Some sort.
blade or is it of a
Serrated.
pincer?
Almost like I don't want to say like a scissor,
Okay.
but it definitely looks like one point was cleaner and then the end of it is sort of frayed. The flesh is more torn there. But you're able to pack it in.
Mhm.
And she is grateful and says, "The fox is coming."
What's our best way out?
We could maybe get to the ship. We'd have to go above ground, though. We won't be for long. The other daughters are... They're looking for her, the queen.
Is everybody after the queen to kill her at this point?
As I
Always-
understand it, mostly just to possess her.
This was what we were worried about in our conversation with you.
It's almost as if there was foreshadowing.
I know.
Hmm.
All right, we're
we
getting
kn-
you off this island.
Hey, remember when I offered you a tour?
This wasn't what I expected or wanted. And
Trying to make the best of it.
Rockshall says, or rather asks, "How do you know that the fox is coming? Why didn't you report this?" She says, "Well, I thought I was to the opossum." And immediately I was, as you can imagine, taken. I met with some of the cult members of the Fox while you are all away. I figured I would take a walk in the flowers for old time's sake.
have a group huddle? Just the 4 of us?
Yes. Thistle?
Okay. Yes.
We'll be
Thistle
right
very
back.
reluctantly lets go of the queen's paw.
We'll be right back. I'm sorry. Watch the queen. We need to have a discussion real quick about a thing.
She goes, good. I need to talk to Rockshell.
Okay.
They have their own huddle.
Yeah. What exactly is our
Nice.
responsibility here?
Protect the queen.
Why?
Get her to Lockhaven. Because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
The queen is our only way of diplomatically engaging. She's kind of the middleman that we
She's
need to have.
She's
Additionally-
obviously not, though.
Well,
She's not-
any one of these daughters would have to rely upon the authority of the queen's position in order to get anything done. So as long as we are able to publicly place her somewhere other than
In their possession.
in their possession, then they have no rightful claim.
There's obviously a reason why they're going after her this aggressively. They wouldn't be pursuing this.
But on the other hand, this sort of instability could serve our purposes. Because if they're this unable to figure their own crap out, it means they're not going to be able to expand and
Temporarily.
Sure.
But this instability could spill onto the coast.
No, you're right. No, you're right. You're right. I just don't like taking a queen under our protection because we're going back to Lockhaven, queen or no queen. That is the next step here. Unless
Understood.
we somehow get diverted again. By,
You
getting
hear
captured.
her yelling at the weasel, grabbing his whiskers and pulling him down. She says, I'm the queen! Me! I am the blooming dahlia! If you don't listen to me, then I'm gonna have a breakdown.
This is
'cause
why
you're
I'm
the-
concerned.
Last member of my council that isn't trying to kill me, it looks like. So could you just please? And he rolls his eyes, lifts up a dagger and gives it to her. And he mumbles, you don't even know how to use that.
Queen,
She
if
goes,
it comes,
I watched Stroud. He did it expertly. I just need to follow his example. Isn't that right, Stroud?
Finn,
I mean, just look at his arms. They're greasy with ant innards.
Queen, if it comes to the point of you needing to use that, you're better off using it on yourself.
Oh, ouch. Rude.
Stay with us. Stay safe. Stay behind us. And remember that running is always an option.
And at that, another figure emerges from where Moira was, followed by 5 other figures.
Oh,
Can
shit.
someone check that damn hallway? Where the hell are they all spawning from?
Mm. It is a mouse leading them, wearing what looks like a shining white skull of a weasel over her head. She is not dressed in armor or anything like that. She wields what looks like a very a long sword and sort of skips almost towards you guys.
Is there a halberd vendor anywhere nearby? Just out of curiosity.
I'm both vaguely attracted and concerned at the same time.
And she holds up her paw and stands very straight all of a sudden. The guards behind her are all weasels, and they are armored, in fact. And most of them have halberds, but you see the other 2 have swords at their hips. And she says, "Ooh, wonderful.
Oh no.
I'm so glad you came to the safety of the tunnels, Your Highness." And the queen says, Onan, hey, Why are ants all over my palace? What is happening? And Onan says, oh, it's just a little disagreement between sisters. You should come back to the wing of the palace where the bone weavers can look after you. It's very dangerous down here.
I would not
Have you
advise
heard?
that.
The ants are all over the place.
Onan, this conversation is going to be a lot easier if you just tell us right now whether you're here to help us get the queen out of here or if you want something else, because she's not going with you.
I figured.
Get them.
But do you really want to die
Get
for,
them!
you know, a young mouse, foolish mouse, worthless mouse?
I would like to take an immediate
That's-
aggressive action while she's
that is
talking.
literally my purpose.
I would like to do something while they're talking.
Okay.
As she's like, are you sure you want to die such a young mouse, a foolish mouse? I would like to chuck this torch I've been carrying this whole time directly in the face of one of the weasels and then yell run.
Oh, excellent. And right when she says a worthless and the torch swings by her over her head and clocks one of the weasels and he curses, and when you yell run, she says, after them! What fun!
Does the weasel who got clocked drop his halberd?
I'm mostly hoping he's going to catch on fire. That is
Yeah,
my
yeah,
express
well,
intent. Right. Is that
No,
like-
he sort of falls on his butt, and his halberd does fall, but he picks it back up.
Damn it.
And we might
a good place for break.
have a conflict here.
Sounds like.
Might?
What's the tunnel structurally like?
The tunnel is initially. Have you ever
This is
gone
a good place for a
under a
break.
mountain tunnel?
Yes.
Yeah, it's basically like that, except it's got lots more dirt, and it is very long. There seems to be no end in sight.
But there
You'd have to-
Is there a way that we can destroy the integrity of part of the tunnel to maybe kind of barricade ourselves away if we make it past this group? To kind of keep a distance away from us, keep a barrier between us and that other group.
You would be able to if you were in one of the storefronts,
Okay.
or one of the barracks that house citizens. But it appears you can't make a barricade as wide as the tunnel right now. It easily fits all of you in it.
Okay. Never mind.
Do we want to take our break now and then come back for the second half?
I think so. That
All
makes fine sense.
Fancy.
Ooh. When we come back, the chase is on. Thank you so much to our sponsors, Tabletop Loot, Roll20, Devin
Real
Rue,
ink.
and, of course, So Nerdwear. It's what the nerds wear. We'll see you on the other side of break. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If you get a second during break, you should check out one of our amazing sponsors. We're now proudly sponsored by Roll20, the best virtual tabletop for all your role-playing needs. Over 4 million people use Roll20's virtual tabletop to power their favorite games. And with more modules than you can shake a stick at on their new revamped storefront, you'll definitely find something for your group to enjoy. Sign up today by clicking the link below or heading to roll20.net/start/WTTP. Tabletop Loot is an amazing place to get your dice bags, dice boxes, and more. And now you can get 15% off your purchase at tabletoploot.com by using the code WTTPDICE at checkout. Tabletop Loot, your party starts here. While you're at it, check out our so awesome merch store, So Nerdwear. So Nerdwear is the place to find all your Welcome to the Party merch and other amazing stuff too. Head on over to sonerdwear.com and use the code WELCOME at checkout to get 10% off your next purchase. So Nerdwear, it's what the nerds wear. Devin Rue, the amazing mistress of maps, has kindly supported the channel since the beginning and provides graphics for many of our streams. Head on over to rueinc.com to check out some of the best fantasy cartography on the web. Our Patreon supports the creators and producers of the channel by providing Roll20 subscriptions, cost coverage for video hosting, and more. If you want to support the channel while getting podcasts a week early, gaming articles that are published on Patreon first, a shout out during our break, and more, head on over to patreon.com/welcomepartyrpg and throw us a buck or $5. And last, but certainly not least, help out the party. Subs and bits not only support the stream, but also every 500 bits or a tier 1 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a reroll or system equivalent, and every 1000 bits or tier 2 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a crit or system equivalent. Thanks again for hanging out with us today. The game will be back in just a few minutes.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Right as we come back, the storyteller decides to take a big drink out of his wonderful.
That's some good vanilla and chai spice vitamin D milk.
Ow! Into it.
You know what else I'm into?
What is that?
Well, boys, and also, conflict.
A conflict.
Mighty fight
What kind of-
time.
What kind of conflict is this?
A chase?
A
Are we
chase?
running?
Are you running?
Well,
Yeah.
there are how many weasels?
5 in total, and the daughter of Krodik, Onan, who seems to be very sword happy right now.
Yeah.
Pretty not awesome odds.
Run.
I don't know.
Right?
Yeah. I follow what Thane says. So
We
Thane
run.
says run, so we run.
Run.
We're not
Although
here
I
to-
will
Shed blood.
Make a goal while I roll for their disposition.
I believe that our goal is to escape to the boat.
My goal is to.
I love that.
My goal is assist Thane in whatever his plan is.
My goal is to figure out what the hell happened to Gauss.
Oh, we gotta get Gout. Oh God.
Oh, yeah, that.
Well,
This whole goal is to hurt someone. They're really upset. They want to hurt somebody.
I love that. I can always count on a thistle bristle.
a bristling thistle. Yeah.
Like a fight
so,
begins and all of her fur stands up.
Right? Just like instantly, like, let's go.
I don't think. So, I think we have to get to the boat. I think the threat level is so high we have to get off the island. I think I love Goss, but at the moment, we have the queen with us. Agree? Disagree?
Agree.
Agree.
He's not been tied to us either, so he doesn't know that
Yeah.
we're. Yeah, so.
Yep. That is our goal. Get to the chopper.
All right. Their goal is to catch you and pull you into a fight.
Because of course it is.
Yeah.
Yar.
And then, if they pull you into a fight, they want to murder you.
Not surprising.
Yeah.
All right.
like to
Roll
not
your
be
disposition. This will be health based. So you'll pick a skill that will represent your overall speed. And then let me actually move you guys to the conflict page so you can see more clearly.
I mean, Pathfinder.
Nature
obvious.
can be used in this, by the way.
Because we're fleeing from danger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so hang on. So I'm using.
I will be using Pathfinder.
Okay.
And I will definitely be using my nature because I am using my Pathfinder to run away from a danger.
Exactly. This
Yeah.
is exactly what a mouse would do.
Yeah, I would like to use my fighter. I'd like to position myself at the back of the group and try to physically dissuade anybody from getting too close.
I was just about to reference that.
I'm gonna use my minute. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna use my. I'm gonna throw tax papers at you.
Take this. Take that. Yeah.
I will use my scout along with my mouse nature for that.
Excellent.
So you'll be up at the front with me. We're going this way. Now, go this way. No. Go.
You're also going to get helping dice from the queen because she... Actually, no. Actually, yes. She... No, she wouldn't know these tunnels. I guess not. I guess you don't get helping dice. Like, I'm trying to think of the NPCs that you're running with, and I'm just like, no, they wouldn't give you helping dice because they're tied to the conflict as well. They're just burdens, really.
I would also
But
like to be using...
Thistle, you do have a strong grip on her arm as she sort of runs with you.
Yay!
And eventually she like tucks the hem of the dress like into her belt so she has like room to run. So she has this like almost like it's not it's like I don't want to call it like jorts, but it's kind of yeah. She's like got the little like stockings
Right?
that are like poofy.
So cute.
Yeah. She's like and her flowers are falling off. I have the actions, by the way.
Yes. I will be defending.
Okay. Is that your first action? Oh, by the way, you need to roll disposition.
How do we do that
Yeah,
again?
You roll nature or maybe a pathfinder.
Okay.
Or scout, and then you add your successes to your health.
Okay. And we can add our nature to our Pathfinder for this. Is that correct or no? I don't remember how that. Okay, so I can.
Yeah, you can do it, and you don't have to lose nature because it is a mousy thing.
Okay.
Whoa.
I would like to use my Pathwise to reroll all my failures.
Okay.
So
And that is with a persona point, right?
Yep, it does.
It does.
So hang on. So I roll Pathfinder plus nature.
Oh no, Thrak is rolling disposition. It looks like.
Oh, he is. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a ton
only
of
one
dice
person?
and a lot of ways to.
No. I'm fine. I didn't realize only one does. Yeah. Go for
Okay,
it.
and then I would like to spend a fate point to reroll all my d6s.
Jeez.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hang on. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 successes.
Okay. What's your health?
9 plus 3 is 12.
Okay. They have 10.
Okay.
So 12 and 10.
Okay.
Let's remember that. All right. Who's going first, second, and third? This volley.
I'm fine opting to go on the next volley.
I'll go last.
All right. Thistle, you're second.
I guess so.
Oh, I guess I'm
Okay.
first then. Okay.
All right.
I will
are we
defend.
All right.
Yeah.
And do you want to talk strategy for Thistle and Stroud on what actions you'll take?
Yeah. I feel like we go. I almost want us to feint first because I feel like they're hyper aggressive and they're gonna want to attack. And so
feint doesn't work against attack.
Oh, it doesn't. What does it work against?
Defend.
Oh, defend. Okay, the chart seems unclear to me on that. Oh, there we go. I see. Feint,
Yeah,
defend.
special. Feint is a special attack. If played against defend, the defender may not test. If played against attack, the feinting player does not defend or attack.
Okay, then I think we should defend first and attack second, and then defend third.
Okay, are we sure that you want to wait until the next volley for Finn to be in
I'm
here?
not. Y'all just called first, second, third, and I went with it.
Because Finn, you're a good attacker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can do that too.
I think you should be second. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna wait until next time.
Okay. So that would be a Pathfinder, then Fighter, then Scout,
Okay.
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay.
All right. Or you could roll your. I will allow you to roll your nature.
Okay.
In these. I am ready.
All right. So,
Are you ready?
Yeah. Just to check my order of operations, I can add my nature to this as I am fleeing. Correct.
Correct.
And it will not cost me additional nature points.
No, but it will cost you a persona point.
I'm down with that. That is that. I'm deeply down with that. Okay, so that is 10 dice. And then I can add my direction sense to this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because
Especially
I'm trying to guide
down
us
here
out
in
of
the tunnels.
Yeah. And then can I do anything with Pathwise?
if you can re-roll failures with
Okay.
a persona point or a fate point.
Okay.
So that's after.
11d6. So this is round 1. Ding, 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 ding.
They're attacking!
I'm defending.
You fucker! They I guess they're ready to roll.
Yeah. Do I want to? I think 8 successes is good, right? Like I shouldn't
8.
roll for more.
Why would you not roll for more?
So that's
If it only costs you a persona point to re-roll the failures, and we have more persona points than we know what to do with,
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
would just
you're right.
roll
You're
the
right,
persona
right,
point.
Right. You're 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 right. When you're right, you're
Okay.
right, and you're right. And I have 3 failures. So that was 0 successes. So thanks for helping me waste a success.
No problem.
there.
Happy to help.
I would
They
like.
got 9 successes.
Am I able to re-roll my 6s because we roll simultaneously, right?
Yes, go ahead and burn a fate point
Done.
and re-roll those 2 6s.
All right. 2d6 and 4. Give me 1 success. Okay. Yep.
All right. Well
And then-
done.
I do have pathwise for tie breaking. Right?
That's right. Yes. Well, if in a conflict, if they both tie, then nothing happens.
Oh, okay. I'm good with that. I have defended.
Yeah,
this.
you have staved off a relentless charge. They charge forward with the mouse leading the weasels, her blade sort of banging on the ground as she follows you, trying to close the distance so she can maybe get someone caught in a fight. But Thrak, you're able to lead everyone away into what you imagine will be a straightaway so that you can outpace them. Well, Thistle, what is your action?
Finn.
We actually decided Finn's going next.
And I
Oh, wait,
got
that's
my
right.
dagger.
All right. What is your action?
Stabby.
That's an attack or a feint?
I am attacking. I believe was what we agreed upon as a strategy. Am I correct?
Dar.
All right. And they shall be maneuvering.
Ooh.
So this will be a maneuver. Yeah, it's a versus test.
Okay.
Let me see.
I will add in.
This is tense, guys.
Very.
I'm being super tough in my
Grr.
attack. Snack. I don't get to add my nature into this, do I?
Sniggity snaggity.
'Cause, like we are retreating overall, but I am like lashing out to keep them away.
Yes, by that you are not following your nature. Your nature would
Right.
be reduced by 1 if you did so.
Hmm.
And now you know what you got to beat.
Yeah, I know.
Successes.
Right?
Yeah.
The
I'll
maneuver
spend it.
doesn't do damage, but it does do a few things.
Yep. So hang on. So let me do my roll. So I will burn a nature.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Slash-
Or burn a persona.
No, burn a nature to add my nature, right? Or isn't that how it works?
No.
Burn a persona to add my nature, then lose 1 nature because it's okay.
Yes, there you go.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Woo.
Okay. So roll 11d6.
Come on, Booby Bear.
4. Boop. Fuck me. Holy shit, that's a lot of ones.
You could roll more 1s. Jesus.
Man.
No.
Now I can only reroll failures if I have an appropriate.
A persona point can reroll all failures if your wise works with it. A fate point can reroll 1, and that's it.
Yeah. Why did I pick only? I should have picked a combat wise. That's.
Stab
Okay.
wise. Bloodline
Yeah,
wise.
I picked all weather related wises. I expected us to be doing a lot more like. wandering around
That
in
will come
nature.
into play once you get above ground. I will promise that.
Sure. Okay. Well, I don't think that there's any way for me to. Fine. I've got a failure on fighter.
Do you want to burn fate point to reroll those 6s?
I only have one fate point, and I don't see me getting 4 off of that.
All
I
right.
do, because I believe in you. I believe in you.
I don't believe in me, and
Okay.
more importantly, I believe in like probability.
I believe in a thing called love.
So they are going to. Let's
So
see.
I will attempt to curse stabity, but I am only 1 mouse.
Yeah, this is big yikes right here.
Okay, they are going to disarm you. That costs 3 successes. And then they are going to gain advantage, which will, or no, they're going to impede you by 1. So the next roll has a -1, and your weapon is deftly slapped out of your hand in a series of thrusts and strokes
Out of curiosity,
by this weasel skull-headed mouse.
I was using 2 weapons. Did that grant me anything?
No.
Okay. Did they
Dick.
they removed both weapons?
No. It says 1 in the
Okay.
disarm thing. So you've lost 1 weapon. And
Okay.
it clatters behind you as you... as she sort of like, haha, hey, let's try. Why don't you stay and fight? Like
Yeah,
a real Mouseguard.
fine. Why don't you get rid of all your weasels and have a duel, like a real anyone else?
No. She keeps chasing you. She was tempted, but no. All right, Stroud, what are you doing?
Shizzy fuckles. I guess I'm just gonna go stabby as well.
No.
You're gonna attack?
I'm gonna.
We could use a maneuver. Maneuver. would be good.
You
will-
can, like, you also need to think this as a chase as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Maneuver
primary goal.
or feint, I think.
Yeah.
Both of which you can scout.
Yeah, scout is good. Attack and maneuver are scout.
Then we'll do a maneuver.
They are fainting.
So,
So this is a independent, which means you will be able to do it. The obstacle is basically 0, and both parties will have the effects that they want. So I'm going to roll.
Okay.
So you'll be rolling your scout plus 2 helping dice and whatever else you can add to it.
can we help as well?
Yeah, that's the 2 helping dice.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So that's already, but we're also having that 1 condition, right? The impediment. So it's technically 3. Because I only have 2 for scout.
Yeah, that's right. -1 because of the impediment.
Yeah.
Dump your nature into that.
I might dump my nature into this roll. So that's 4. So that'll be 7.
And
And my what? Well, no, I don't think I can argue for my. Any other ways I can? Nope.
4.
come on, boo boo.
All right.
Yes.
Oh,
You want to reroll those 6s?
Actually, I don't think you'll have to. At 5 successes buys everything from the maneuver list.
Oh, does it?
Nice.
Yeah, there are only 3. 1 is disarm, which disarms an opponent from using a weapon, trait, or other nature things. You can impede, which is a -1 for their next roll. And you can gain advantage, which is +2 to your ally next turn.
Nice.
But if he were to say get 3 more successes, that would be a second disarm.
Unfortunately, you cannot buy
Okay.
twice in maneuvers.
okay.
You cheesy monkey.
What? There are 6 of them.
I know.
I want to give an advantage to the next person's roll.
Okay. What do you want to disarm about this this group chasing you? because I will go ahead and like give you an idea. Like they're using some weasel instinct to sort of surge forward, but she is also trying to kill you with a sword.
Snag me a halberd. Snag me a halberd.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do because like, we need a halberd. I'm looking for the fighter here, and I can't. Give me the halberd.
Oh my god, excellent. So
I'll take the halberd for $500.
okay, this makes perfect sense. Stroud, you turn around after seeing Finn get disarmed just in a 3-2-1 stroke, and you let one of the weasels catch up to you, and he stabs forward with his halberd, and you dodge just enough to grab beneath the axe curve, and you yank it out of his hands as he stumbles a bit because his little stumpy legs are like, you know, and he just falls into the ground and just tumbles. Unfortunately, that gives everyone else the opportunity to catch up and close the distance, and you take 4 damage to your disposition. But guess what? You have a halberd now, Finn.
Woo!
So it is, what was yours? 14? It was a 12. It was 12. So you're down to -5, 7. And they are still at 10.
Uh-huh.
Next volley. Who's going? Oh, it's Thistle, I think.
Thistle.
Yeah.
Thistle wants to hurt these people. They're gonna attack.
All right. I'm going to say in this next volley, you guys are now ascending, and you can see at the top of the tunnel the light of the night as it is being consumed by clouds overhead, giving it sort of a haunting crescent moon.
Beautiful. I love it.
All right. You're attacking with your weapon, correct? You're not running.
No.
Okay, interesting. And let's go ahead and just gather your dice. What weapon are you using again?
I'm using my dagger.
I don't think that gives you advantage in anything. Okay. Using your dagger.
And because I'm such a cool mouse,
You
and
are.
I want to show off for the queen, I'm attacking behind me with the dagger in my long tail, using it like a whip. Because that's cool.
Good on you. I'm so proud.
And I get +2 because of the maneuver that Stroud made, right?
Yeah. And the queen is also going to give you 1 helping dice, and I'll explain why later.
Yay!
After the results of the roll.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see, so 1 was...
All right. And now I shall roll for the pursuing party. I think it's gonna be okay.
Okie dokie.
Oh, whoopsie. They're spending a few of their resources on this. Oh, geez.
Hey.
They're attacking, by the way.
Great. I'm gonna use my code of the guard wise because it is really not okay for let this person that I'm protecting get hurt by these people. I'm gonna spend a point to reroll all them ones.
Yeah. And those 2 threes.
Ooh.
Oh, I get to roll those too? Nice.
Can I be
All the
inspired
failures.
by that and trade out for my fucking unseasonably warm weather-wise?
The chill air gives you vigor. The cold breeze of forthcoming snow. Yo! Oh my god. Do you also roll those 2 6s with a
Oh
fate point?
yeah, I'm gonna go for everything here.
Oh
Let's
my
get
god, you
that
could
in
take
there.
them out
just
in
did
one
so
fell
good,
swoop.
Harper.
Oh my god, you could take them out in one fell
Oh
swoop.
please let it happen.
You just need 2 successes.
Come on. Come on.
Really? They have
Yes!
No!
Wait, I don't understand what just
Bristle
happened.
whips their tail back and slashes them all across the eyeballs.
Good. You were watching when I taught you earlier.
Oh my god. Okay. Here's how I imagine this. They also took down damage from you as well.
Yes.
So let's dive in. Your long tail curls around the dagger that thankfully was secreted away, just in case. Thistle, running has never been an answer for you. Your problems are always faced head on. And pushing the queen behind you, you face one of the weasels as they charge forward. And you slash him across the face. His muzzle is unprotected, and the carve is precise. Mostly because your long tail gives you the length and reach that you need. He falls, clutching his face. The weasel who tripped is still recovering, and now you find yourself being assailed by not only the bone-wearing mouse, Onen, but another mouse. No, not a mouse. Another weasel behind her. You are suddenly surprised as a dagger flies through the air and catches the weasel in the throat. And you hear a stifled gasp behind you as the queen goes, "Oh, ooh! Oh, I got him! Blood!" And Rakshal rushes past you, dodging the blade of Onen, and basically finishes off the weasels that have been injured, essentially, as Onen approaches you, swinging her sword, saying, "I think I'll use your tail as a belt when I'm done."
I hate you. Great.
Do we get actions now? Because I very badly want to hurt something.
I haven't.
This is going to be a free open scene because you guys ended the conflict with 2 disposition, while they ended with 0. So we get to talk about compromises. They have certainly dragged you into a fight. And as such, I think, well, actually, you guys have engaged in a fight as well as running away. So here's what I will give you. You will be able to escape to the surface after Onen does battle with Thistle Bristle and Finn, who has a halberd now. And that is going to be one final fighter check against her. Just her. And then you'll be able to escape to the boat. I might make you do one more check just because secrets, but this is my compromise. Everyone, you will be injured at the end of this conflict.
Yeah.
Actually, Stroud, you're going to be, no, you should be injured too. Because she's in ultra fight mode now. She's like, yes, I have you where I want you, and she's surrounded. So Finn or Thistle, which one of you is going to lead this role against the daughter of Krodic?
May I?
Yeah, you've got that 6 fighter. You should totally do it.
And you just got your halberd back.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
All right, she is going to.
I'm trying to remember what my halberd grants me. Doesn't it do a thing?
I will allow you to have a basic +1 dice for this. Actually, does the X mode give you success? I think it does. Yes, you get +1 dice to attack and defend. Mm-hmm. So go ahead and add a +1 d to your thing.
Okay, and then I get +1 from Thistle, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then +1 from Tough, and then I'm gonna burn my last persona and nature, or fate and nature.
All right, turn your nature down by 1.
What happens if my nature's a 0?
Your nature reduces. The max nature is reduced completely by 1. And then you get a trait that is bad. But it's another trait that you can use to gather players' checks.
What's the trait?
Oh wait, you lost your nature?
I'm saying I'm seriously considering it. What would be the trait? I have 1 remaining nature right now, unless I've gained some that I didn't know about. Like, I don't know how you restore nature over time.
In the book, getting the the prologue returns a point of nature. Otherwise, there's no other way.
We had talked about spending persona
fate points. I've discussed spending 5 fate points to restore 1 point of nature. If you do this, I will give you jaded. Or something that will give you disadvantage, like fearless, maybe. Like you're fearless to a fault. Do you think that's a good one for you?
Yeah.
You could also be bitter.
Let's go with.
You want to be bitter?
Oh man, Throck, what do you think? Stroud as well.
There's old fur. There's old fur too.
Oh, is there old fur? What does that do?
And old fur is a mouse who's past his prime physically. Even so, old furs hold the collected wisdom of generations who have gone before.
I think you should either go for. I think you should go for jaded or reckless. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards jaded.
I think I'll go for fearless.
Fearless.
Yeah.
Fearless fighters charge into the face of danger without a thought for their own safety. However, they tend to forget when discretion should come before valor.
Yeah, that works for me.
All right.
No wonder Thistle looks up to you.
I got 4 successes, sir.
Okay. Okay. 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 4 more. So, okay. 13d6.
This is tense.
7 successes.
I am burning a fate point.
I don't want you to.
This is my boss character. Oh, whoops. Well. Okay. All right. Is this a fight to the death?
Thistle has any say in it. Yes.
Yeah, I honestly think it is. She just used a bunch of weasels against me. I got flashbacks from that shit. Like, I don't appreciate any of what she's doing. She's given no real explanation for her actions. She's only out to hurt people. Yeah, this is one that needs to be removed.
All right. The two of you face off against this single mouse who only seems all the more eager. And you can hear her teeth gnashing underneath that skull as her wild eyes whip from you to Finn, Thistle. And with a cackle, she swerves towards you, the tender paw, weaving her blade into a furious swing that only barely misses you. And Finn, she once again turns back on you to intercede your advance. And every movement that she makes is paced sort of like she's doing a different dance with both of you. She uses so much force with Thistle, but Finn, she almost takes like a riposte stance with you and your halberd, trying to keep her distance. How do you do this?
Distance works for me with a halberd, but my plan would be to disrupt her footwork by turning the halberd to use the pole end to trip and then close with the axe head near my fist and thrusting up.
Ooh. And as you do that, Thistle sees the maneuver you're pulling, and as she stumbles, jumps on them from behind, yanking their mouth open so that your halberd goes straight into her mouth and up into her brain.
And guess what? That skull gives you easy grip. And she dies with a smile on her face. Blood streaming down her chin into her fur. And then there is silence as Roxol deftly crushes one of the weasels into paste with a halberd that he has borrowed. Your opponents are all defeated.
Thistle, repeat the guard mouse oath, take her sword, and let's go.
Oh my goodness, now I've got to pull it up.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country to keep myself physically strong, mentally straight, and morally awake. That's a Boy Scout oath.
That is not the guardhouse oath!
I was about to be impressed right there. I was like, ooh.
Now, we as guard offer all. That's the start.
We as guard offer all that we are to protect the sanctity of our species, the freedom of our kin, and the honor of our ancestors. With knowledge, sword, and shield, we do these deeds, never putting a lone mouse above the needs of all, or the desire of self above another. We strive for no less than to serve the greater good.
Wonderful, says the queen. That's beautiful.
Grab the sword, let's go.
She
And
like
sword
steps
together.
over like some of the blood spots on the ground and sort of clutches at Roxol's like fur as he sort of tries to lead her over gently. And Moira she's following as well. Oh gosh, how much time do we have?
About a half an hour.
Player's turn.
Well, we get back to the boat.
Yep.
We're all injured.
Skexol is there. And she greets you with a scream.
Why are you screaming?
We're stuck! I can't see who it is!
It's us.
Wonderful. Where's the cloaks?
We had to stash them.
Oh,
I thought we
I
stashed
don't wear
them.
them. Let everyone know you're big, tough beans.
We stashed them on your boat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
excellent.
Yep.
Moira, are you done with those foxkin?
Moira grunts, says, "You're right. It was only trouble. I shouldn't have left."
Okay. Well, we need to go now
Oh, great.
because there's more trouble coming.
Really?
Yeah.
And yes, there is. Stroud, you've only barely snuck past a line of ants that are on the warpath. And you have been able to get over to the boat in time. Everyone boards, and Skexol brings you all up and begins to set sail. And she goes,
What shore are we going to? Let's go further east. Let's go to another island.
No, we're not going to another island. We need to get whatever gets us quickest back to. I'm not looking at the map, so I can't remember the name.
Lockhaven.
Lockhaven.
Lockhaven, my boat can't fly.
Whatever drops us quickest to there.
Ah,
So kind of Maple Harbor-ish.
let's go for that.
Yeah.
and she sets sail.
Good. Okay. We're all a little wounded. We're all a little tired. We've done a little killing, and we have a queen with us. I want to let you all know you did exceptional getting out of there. Well done. Get some rest.
Do we all have, because wounds isn't really a thing. Is it all, that we all have the injured
Yes.
condition?
You all have injured.
Okay.
This is straight up condition.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I use a player's turn roll to lick my wounds and regain a nature point?
No.
You can make a health check to shrug off the injured condition,
I would like to do that. I would like to fail
Yeah.
a health check.
because
Yeah, let's go
Stroud
ahead.
only has one player's turn check to heal someone.
Oh, I can't heal the group. Oh, damn.
Heal Thistle or yourself.
I'm gonna be selfless and heal Thistle.
Aw.
Obstacle
you.
3, I believe. Let me double check.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, one success. I failed. Yay. I wanted the failure because I think I need 3 failures and a pass to increase from 3 to 4, right?
Correct.
Yay! I now have health 4.
Nice.
I'm assuming I will
What's
not have.
what's the difficulty on the
3.
health check?
If you're
Stop
trying to
sticking.
shrug it off, it is 4. If you're trying to heal, it is 3.
Okay, so I've got a failure.
Okay.
You need 3 failures and a pass to gain health, not 3 passes and a failure?
Oh, wait, no, you need the same number of successes and -1 of...
Failure.
Yes.
Well, how are you ever supposed to? Okay.
I've got 2 passes and 1 failure right now in health.
You role play less. That's how. You roll dice more.
Okay.
I'm
Lame.
gonna re-roll my 6.
Yeah,
I'll
re-roll
my
it.
6.
No!
Fudge.
What was that?
I was saying fudge.
Oh, fudge.
That is
Oh.
not what it sounded like to me either. I was like,
I
that is
really
aggressive.
thought you said badge. I was like, what?
That's a new one.
Okay, here's what we'll do. So I'm going to give everyone this option. Everyone who failed. Jeez.
Feels like everyone except Zed.
Okay. Everyone gets rid of their injured condition. except Stroud, who hasn't healed himself. But I think everyone failed, so that means all of you have to... Actually, no. Finn and Thane can keep their injured condition, or they can do what's going to happen to Thistle just now and get one of their skills or ability scores reduced by 1.
Oh, F that. What? No. No.
Nah, I'm just injured.
I'm just gonna be injured. That's cool. Yeah. It's so hard to get a skill up. F that noise.
I just rubbed some dirt on it and call it a day.
Walk it off.
Wow.
That's harsh.
Your health is going to go down by 1.
No, my poor. I'm getting old.
Yeah.
No! You just got out of a fight with what appears to be a deadly swordswoman. Swords mouse.
I got some cool scars.
Yeah, you need to start building up a collection like Finn.
Right? Showing them off to the queen, like, yeah.
Yeah. She's like, oh dear. Will your fur grow back?
It'll grow back eventually. But there'll always be that little string where there's no fur.
How horrid. Everyone
It'll
will
be
know
okay. And you gave somebody else a scar. You threw that knife and you were just like, bam. That was cool.
I thought you needed help. And I asked for it.
You did great. I was so proud of you.
I killed one of my
Change the
subjects.
world.
No, I murdered a subject of mine. I swore to protect them, and now they're all dead.
Well,
Your Grace,
they were traitors.
Yeah.
They were trying to kill you. They weren't your subjects.
No longer your subjects. Sorry about that. But we're going to get you hooked up so that you can come back in glory and try and regain your kingdom from all these horrible traitors.
Does anybody else feel weird? Oh. And she sort of like wavers, starts stumbling around the deck.
This'll get a pillow and a bucket.
Okay.
Why? What's wrong with the ground? Why is the ship falling over? She's seasick.
Oh no. Thistle's gonna take care of her and take her to the railing and like get her a bucket.
She looks out into the open sea and is like, no, back down.
Nice.
Roxel, Thane, you still have a scimitar, right?
I do.
All right. He approaches you and says, that was a tight... Oh, you giving it back?
Yeah. Yours, right? It was a tight situation.
Yeah, I guess. He takes the scimitar and slides it back into his belt. And he says, if you need it, just ask for it. Right now, you're disarmed. It's the last thing anybody should be.
I know. It's not mine.
Also, point of order, our weapons are here on the ship.
Oh, yeah. All my stuff's here on the ship. I'm not disarmed.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not disarmed. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, my gear
then
is
he's
here.
like,
Yeah, my gear is here. It's okay.
oh my gosh, you left all your... The guard are more clever than I thought.
Well, some of us are. But thank you. It was...
Thanks. Thanks.
Sorry, I'm just hearing this cat in the background.
Oh,
It's
man.
just, stop sounding so pitiful.
It was good to fight beside you. You did
Is there
well.
going to be a
We're
problem
brave.
once we get to shore?
Yes. You are a weasel. That we're going to need to put a cloak over your head or something as we move to Lockhaven.
Well, I'm
I'm gonna-
glad you didn't mistake me for a ferret. You've got that going for you.
I don't know that a cloak is going to do the job.
I don't know what else to do.
It's 3 times our height.
I understand that.
We could pretend he's a prisoner.
We could pretend you're like a big fuzzy thing. Yes. That we're taking to a detention center somewhere.
Yeah.
A cell block,
just
one might say.
wear a rope on a hand.
Yeah.
No.
Don't worry, we won't mock them.
I don't like the idea, but
Trying to make as many veiled Star Wars Wookiee references as I can right here.
How
Especially
dare you.
because, Finn, you look a little like Han Solo today. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. Anyways.
Thane, he leans in closer and says, "Is there going to be a problem on the boat?
No.
You know, with he's old enough to have been in the Weasel War."
Oh, no. He's smart. He's loyal. And I don't think he's going to start shit. He's mission driven. I think he'll be fine.
He's also bonkers, so.
Yeah, he says, to be honest, he's a little bit reckless.
He is a little bit
Did you see him during that fight?
I did. But that recklessness has saved our tails in the past. So he's not going to fight you. If he would have, if there was a problem, it would have raised his head by now.
What about that little girl? Or little boy? Oh my God.
Yeah, the jury's still out on that one.
They almost lost their tail. You should tell them not to leave it hanging.
You know, I've tried to tell that one a lot of things. They take what
They're
they
still
want to
headstrong?
take. Yeah, they take what they want to take and don't care about the rest. Problematic, but they're doing okay for their first patrol.
I hate waiting.
I know. Boats are boring.
It's my job.
What
I
we
hate
may
my
do is
job.
keep to some of the more back trails on the way into Lockhaven and get you in that way. Have you camp outside
What about
town.
her? What about the queen?
No one knows who she is. Here. No one knows what she looks like.
I guess.
We put her in some plain clothes. She'll be fine. She will look like any other mouse.
She's not any other mouse. She's special.
I'm unclear as to why so far. I have seen nothing, and this just to be completely blunt, haven't seen anything special about her. She complained at you until you gave her a dagger. She was very impressive throwing it into a weasel's head, but I haven't seen a spark of anything that I haven't seen in leaders of other towns. What is special about her?
And he sort of like grinds his teeth together, more in embarrassment than anything else, and sort of mutters, "Well, you know how parents are. They see something in their kids that's special.
You raised the queen?
I was her bodyguard, of course I did."
Oh, so that makes more sense. Yes, I mean, she seems wise, although like to take the advice of the last person she talked to. Thus, we are.
That's the thing. She doesn't have any sense of discretion.
Yeah. And that
You should see the figures.
the figures?
If only we had escaped with one of the addendums for this year's fiscal turnout.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one thing she's good at is numbers.
Oh. Okay. Well,
Ruling a kingdom?
Mm-mm. I can see
That's
that.
why she has so many council members.
And why a kingdom? How did that happen?
Wait, why a kingdom?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he says a queendom.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Why a royal line on Venn? Why is that even a thing?
Well, that goes back to the landing. There's a storm that deposited a ship of traveling mice. We don't know if they were merchants or we don't know much about them. All we do know is that one of them, a woman, she led with such authority. and help them survive in that tumultuous time until they had grown to what you see now. But she was also benevolent. It's hard to describe.
Sure.
Every queen has had their interests firmly set within the Isle's borders.
That's a good
We
thing.
merely trade. And then we landed with Krodic. If I'd known this would be as bad as it was, I would have sunk the ship myself.
Yeah, I think it sounds like you've obviously been betrayed. The queendom itself feels like it's been turned away from being a queendom to being Prodix now.
Autocracy?
Well, it was already an autocracy. You had a queen and you had a caste system, so it was already bad, but now it's worse. The thing is, I'm concerned about what's going to happen now that Krodic is fully in charge.
Well, of course, all the daughters are going to be vying for the position of queen.
Yeah.
That
But
island
it's
is going to be
Krodic's
littered
queen.
with queens.
Yeah. You don't think it's going to be whoever Krodic wants, and he's going to keep that person?
Not at first.
Okay.
He'll likely let them fight between themselves before a clear victor is in the wings.
But at some point...
With some point, he will stop it.
Yeah. It
His
buys
regiment...
us some time to plan and recover. There's 2 roads before us, right? After we get to Lockhaven. One is to strike immediately while Venn is weak. And I don't think any of this can happen without the understanding that there will be no more attempting to seize land from the free mice of the mainland, right? I think that has to be an understanding. But I also think that we have 2 paths ahead of us. One is we can strike while that's fragmented and attempt to remove Krodic and anybody else who stands in the way of the queen regaining her seat. Or we allow the daughters to winnow each other down, and so the winner will be the least weak of a number of weak choices. And once they are in the act of solidifying their power and off balance, we strike at the one that remains along with Krodic. One is a more chaotic and confused situation, and one gives us a clear target, but one, the chaos could work in our favor. So I'm not sure. I really need to talk to the boss about it. But, yeah.
It's not as easy as filling a tunnel with soldiers, that's for sure.
Yeah. This is why, by the way, you don't see kingdoms and queendoms on the mainland. Each town works together and ensures the freedom of every other town. That's it.
Could have learned a lot from you.
I'm not trying to moralize. I'm just saying that we could learn a lot from you all about working together, different species. That's admirable. A lot of the trappings around that are, I think, what put us in the position we're in.
You see off in the distance as Skeksel's ship curls around towards Maple Harbor. You see that harbor and the docks are burning.
Well,
in the haze of smoke, you do see a handful of ships.
Seems
the
awfully
rest
fast.
The rest are well beyond sunk.
The only possible way for this to be as it is for their plans to have been underway well before we even were attacked.
Yeah. 2 thoughts. 1, this is a perfect place to end on a cliffhanger. 2, it's entirely possible that all this shit was going on without the Queen knowing because the Queen was not given all the information. Yeah. But it feels like this is a perfect place to end on a cliffhanger. Heading towards a burning dock, going, what the fuck?
More like heading around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I did it. We did it.
We did it!
You left, Venn.
Yay! On you, Boo Boo. We got to do all the wrap up stuff.
Yas, Queens.
Yas, Queens of Venn.
Queens. I am 4. And we are done. Let's do rewards. If you accomplished
shit goes to Finn and Thistle. All my shit goes to Finn. Whatever it is goes to Finn and Thistle.
Damn, okay. Yeah,
Pretty much.
you guys know the drill. Who gets MVP? Who gets workhorse? Who gets the embodiment?
I think that Workhorse is going to go to Finn. Finn did.
And
A lot.
MVP goes to Thistle.
I agree with that. I think
Yep.
embodiment goes to Thane for all of them.
Oh my god,
combos.
yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, sweet. What do I get for that?
Persona point.
Oh, nice. Okay. Boink.
Yay.
Oh, and I
That-
accomplished my goal. I got to hurt someone.
That's right. What about the rest of you? I know, sadly, Stroud, you didn't find Goss.
I don't think we had time to process, so it's okay.
It's pretty. It happened very fast.
Mine was get off the island.
Mine was assist Thane in whatever his plan is.
There you go.
That's a Persona as well, or a Fate? I'm sorry. Oh, it
Persona
says,
if you accomplished
Persona.
it.
Yeah. Boink.
Fate if you didn't.
Yeah.
I would like to point out that Thistle has very out of character with their belief. They put a lot of trust into this queen.
Yeah, you kind of acted against your belief more than once.
Yeah. So
I think. So I don't know if you believe that statement.
Right.
Is Thistle going to change their belief?
I don't know. I'm gonna think about it some more. But they're thinking about their belief.
I definitely think this deserves a Persona point.
Okay.
Because nothing Thistle did seemed to be in line, except for the obvious threats, of
Mhm.
course.
So I'm confident we've talked about this before, but I don't recall what we determined. What can be done with the excessive number of Persona points I'm sitting on?
If you have a lot of Persona points, you can use them to. I think you could use them to add 1 to your roll per Persona point. You could tap your nature. You can re-roll failures with the Ys.
Right.
I think you can also. No, wait. That's player's turn checks that you earn. That's all, I think.
Okay.
I could allow you to buy a recovery check in the GM's turn.
Ah.
I think maybe if I make you spend 2 of those, you can buy a recovery check.
Okay. I would like to buy a recovery check.
Unfortunately, you failed, and that means you cannot recover until you see a healer.
Oh, well, then never mind.
And
Okay.
I thought that even though we failed, we took. Was that just Thistle that took the thing so that the injured went away?
Yeah, because a healer failed on healing you.
Okay, no. Okay, no.
I'm sorry.
To be fair, this is the only time Stroud has probably failed a healer check, I think.
No, they've done so
No.
good. Yeah.
I think I failed 1 or twice. I mean, not. Yeah.
I think it was on.
Either way.
Oh, it was on NPCs though. You failed on the
Yeah.
NPCs.
the non-important characters.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Anything else, guys?
No, we should just do outros and then be good.
All right. Who wants to go first? Or shall I?
I'll go
Whoa.
first. I'm Connie. Oh yeah! So I played Thistle. It was really cool. They got to be very Thistle-like, and it was fun. Check me out on the Twitters. I draw sometimes. I'm thinking about drawing for people. I'm
You drew
also
for
gonna-
me, and it was great.
Yeah, you can see their little mouse up above their picture. So I drew that. That was fun.
Can you draw a little dagger in your character now in their tail?
Yes, I will totally do that. Oh yeah, I'm here on Monday playing Unknown Armies. Come and join us. See how world is actually much weirder than you think it is.
Excellent. Nero.
Hi, I'm Nero Fourier, also known as Stroud. You can find me on Insta, Twitter, and on Twitch at the same handle. I stream, I used to stream, but I will be getting back to it soon. And yeah, that's about it for me.
Oh, Zed.
Hi, I'm Zed. I play in lots of games and run some games and do lots of things and am busy in general. I am most notably and currently seen on Sundays in a game over on Devil's Luck RPG Twitch channel, which Throck is running. Huh?
Yep.
Oh, I thought you said nope. I was like, what? What happened? Called Emerald Knights and Nero Spikes. It's a Shadowrun game. And then I'm also on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern to 9 p.m. Eastern, running a D&D 5th edition game that is taking place in Ravnica. That is sort of a pulpy, noiry, but comedic romp simultaneously because of who my players are, and that's just how we roll. But it's a lot of fun. And yeah, those are the primary things I'm doing right now. I'm on Twitter at ZEDECXZ. And if you follow me, hooray. I mostly retweet things from the Welcome Party channel and a lot of semi-anarchic postings.
Truth.
Yeah.
Truth.
It's my turn.
I'm 4. I am from the forefront. That is on the forefront at Twitter and twitch.tv. I am also in that bag of, I want to stream. I may, but I'm not right now. I want actually to do a writing stream where it forces me to write words and everyone keeps me accountable for my word count. And if I hit 10,000 words, you have to subscribe. I am also writing a tabletop role-playing game called 4 Minutes. I'm so excited to release more information about it soon. But before I do that, I have to play Alien with Neuro. Neuro, guess what? Simply JXN might join. Yeah.
She's a sweetheart.
But I'm truly grateful for playing here with Throck and all these wonderful people because, gosh darn, I need some mice in my life.
Who doesn't? I guess I go last.
You go last.
Hi, what's up? I'm Sean, also known as Throck Plays on the tweeters. You can find me next on Devil's Luck Gaming at 8 p.m. tomorrow. Running Emerald Knights and Neurospikes for the second to last episode, and then on Tuesday on our Rifts role-playing game here on the channel at 8 p.m. Eastern, where I play a war criminal. It was an accident. I didn't know that's where my character arc was going, but it's where it went. So I'm better now, if that helps. I'm now a righteous sword of justice. But yeah, so that's super fun. And that's it. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us today. We're going to hop right off. Of course, always thank you to our sponsors. And check out our Discord and our Patreon if you get the point. If you get the opportunity, if someone could type !Discord and !Patreon
Doing it right
in
now.
chat, it would be very helpful for me. Patreon is one of the best ways to support us, and our Discord is an amazing rock and rolling place where you can find all sorts of sweet chat. And I love you all very much. And next up at 9:30 p.m. Eastern today is Adventures in Agony, which is a all persons of color D&D 5e homebrew campaign that is super duper good. And maybe continuing to next season. I'm not sure yet. We'll find out. Okay. And with that, we're gonna head off and have a good night. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Night, bye.
Farewell.